My friend Zoe pushed me off a cliff, but when she came down to check, I was nowhere to be found, just a bloody necklace on the ground. I escaped into the forest, covered in blood, unable to understand why my best friend would try to kill me. That's when I heard Zoe calling out, so I quickly hid in a ditch. She kept apologizing, claiming it was all an accident. Just as I was about to stand up, her expression suddenly turned ice cold. I covered my mouth with my hand, afraid to make a sound. After Zoe left, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. That night, as I leaned against a tree, Zoe returned with a flashlight. I was terrified. She searched everywhere for me, and then it started pouring rain. Zoe left, and I barely escaped again. The next day, I crawled to a puddle and gulped down the dirty water. Zoe had geared up and returned to the forest, still hunting for me. I snuck back to the cabin, frantically searching for my phone, but came up empty. With no other choice, I swallowed some painkillers and gritted my teeth while stitching up my wounds with a needle. My agonized screams drew Zoe back to the cabin, but by then I had already escaped. I tried to get away by boat, but she aimed a sniper rifle at me. The distance was too great, though she couldn't hit me. Seeing another boat nearby, she jumped in and gave chase. Weak as I was, she caught up quickly, leaping onto my boat and overpowering me. Just then, our neighbors spotted us.
Everything okay, ladies?
And I immediately shouted an invitation for the couple to come over for dinner that night. They agreed, and Zoe dragged me back to the cabin. That's when I learned the truth. Zoe had fallen for my boyfriend. She demanded I break up with him, and when I angrily refused, she held my head underwater until I begged for mercy and agreed to her demands. That evening, when the neighbors came for dinner, I tried to ask the wife for help while Zoe was talking to the husband outside, but Zoe saw me. The woman warned her husband, so Zoe stabbed him with a knife, then chased down the wife and brutally killed her too. That night, I managed to free myself from the ropes around my wrists and carefully crept past Zoe. I grabbed a knife and plunged it into her, but it was all just a dream. The next day, Zoe drove me back to the cliff, ready to execute her murder plan again. Knowing I was about to die, I secretly pulled out a dart I'd hidden under my leg and jabbed it into Zoe. The car stopped abruptly, and I seized the chance to run. Zoe chased after me, and I found myself back at the cliff's edge with her right behind me. I kept backing up as she approached, but suddenly she collapsed. She had diabetes, and without her insulin injection, she'd go into a coma. I picked up the knife to kill her, but looking at her face, I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I drove away. Halfway down the road, fear of Zoe's revenge made me turn back, determined to finish her off. But when I reached the cliff, Zoe was gone. I returned to the cabin with a gun, waiting for her. Sure enough, she came back, and I pressed the gun to the back of her head. Just as I was about to pull the trigger, Zoe grabbed the gun and ran upstairs. I followed, but suddenly she appeared behind me and knocked me unconscious. She dragged me back to the cliff and kicked me over the edge. This time, I was truly dead. Zoe called the police, claiming I had accidentally fallen. She returned to the cabin to inject her insulin, but soon felt terrible. That's when she discovered the laptop on the table with a video I'd recorded. I had already replaced her insulin with hydrogen peroxide. When hydrogen peroxide enters the bloodstream, it forms clots, and once those clots reach the brain, death is inevitable. The only person who could save her now was me, and I was a doctor. Zoe desperately ran toward the cliff, but before long she collapsed on the road, and so this ridiculous tragedy finally came to an end.